Most Bakersfield people are probably familiar with the Bakersfield Sound, the unique flavor of country music that dominated the charts in the 1960s and 70s. But we hear very little about another music scene that was taking place at about the same time. In recognition of Black History Month, 17's Robert Price presents what we might call the Lakeview Sound.
You probably don't associate these names with Bakersfield music history. Ike Tina Turner, James Brown, Johnny Guitar Watson, Billy Preston. Well, they're part of that history as well. They came through on the Chitlin circuit. The music and lively action in the side-by-side clubs and all along the street might be hard to imagine as you consider the way things look now. But 50 years ago, this was one of the liveliest stretches of road in what was once known as the Mayflower Sunset District of Southeast Bakersfield. The energy was akin to the original Chitlin circuit, an informal entertainment pipeline that brought black actors, comedians, and musicians to venues throughout the country's eastern, southern, and upper Midwest from the turn of the century during days of strict racial segregation through the 1970s. A latter-day version of the circuit also brought them through California and Bakersfield. Blues reviews, they called them. While white folks were honky-tonking at clubs like the Blackboard and the Clover Club, black folks were tearing it up here on Lakeview Avenue, now known as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, at juke joints like the Cotton Club, the Delwood Club, and Mom's Place. From East California Avenue, across East Brundage, all the way south on Cottonwood to Planz Road, and eventually spilling out onto Union Avenue at mixed-race dance halls like the Rainbow Garden, later to be known as Harmony Garden. Today, it's the Kern County Bass Club. JANIE Randle was a regular at the clubs along Lakeview with her husband James Randle, starting in 1962. Some clubs could be dangerous, shootings not uncommon, especially at places like the Delwood, but she had a great time.
The Delwood Club was a club where you could go in and back in those days they didn't ask you for liquor license or nothing, and they sold beer. You brought your own liquor in.
The Cotton Club across the street in down a block, owned by Jay and Emily Collins, was so much a favorite, the Randles eventually bought it. Now the building is a guitar shop and an auto parts store. At least those buildings are still standing. Many, like the Delwood, aren't.
Play that song I heard you play.
While Merle Haggard and Red Simpson were entertaining Okies a couple miles away, a whole constellation of stars were coming through Bakersfield. Little Richard, Fats Domino, B.B. King, Albert King, Etta James, the Platters, Johnny Guitar Watson, Little Milton, Ike Turner, whose wife liked to come through Bakersfield because she had extended family here. Yes, that would be Tina Turner. Some of the groups that played here were homegrown, like the Paradons, whose lead singer Charles Weldon went on to become a Broadway actor, working with the likes of Denzel Washington and Cicely Tyson. Charles Weldon, like so many other blacks who came to Bakersfield in the 1940s, came to escape the poverty and deeply entrenched discrimination of the South. Arkansas, in the case of many. They settled in southeast Bakersfield and worked as farm laborers, digging potatoes and picking cotton. As difficult as that was, most found it better than the place they'd left. That was the case with bluesman Robert Bilbo Walker, a native of Bobo, Mississippi, who came to Bakersfield to pick cotton and maintain dual citizenship, the San Joaquin Valley and the Mississippi Blues Trail, for the rest of his life. Like the Okies who worked in the oil fields to the north, the Mayflower District's blacks looked to live music for their weekend entertainment, rock, jazz, soul, and especially the blues. Danny Johnson, a performer himself, remembers many a great show on Lakeview.
I like that performance that Bobby Blue Band did when he came here. He did a hell of a thing down here, him and BB. I think they did a double duel in some club down here, and everybody, it was just packed, man. You couldn't get up in there. Albert King was, him and BB never got along. I talked to Albert King live. Albert King was a hell, I love Albert King. I love, but Little Milton was bad, man. Woo. Yeah. He made a Blind Man. Man, I love Blind Man. That was a cold blues right there.
That's a song, Blind Man?
It's a song, yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you ever saw it.
Yeah, you probably heard it.
And don't you give me a dime
until you bring back that little girl. Boy, when that band hit, I can't let her go. Boy, he was blowing. Boy, they went crazy down there.
Don Allen, whose bands opened for a lot of big regional and national acts, said by the 1970s, the Lakeview Sound was reaching into other areas of the city and audiences of all colors.
Kind of migrated from the Lakeview area to other clubs like the Bakersfield Inn, the Star, the Casa Royale, you know, Masons, different places like that, the Hacienda, Black Angus. So they started migrating from there over into other areas of Bakersfield. And I think we were on a ticket, was the Ray Charles Review, and then Johnny Guitar Watson. So that was in early 70s.
Like the city's country music honky-tonks, though, Lakeview's time eventually ran out. It happens. Years pass, musical tastes change, neighborhoods evolve, but history must remember. So if you know Bakersfield history, you know the legend of the Blackboard and the Clover Club and the Lucky Spot. Well, there was a lot more to it than just the Yoki music. On Lakeview Avenue, Robert Price, 17 News.
Nobody knows our local music history like our Bob Price, that's for sure. Up next, this